On Capitol Hill, one of those leading the charge against derivatives says a reform measure would shine the light of day on those shadowy financial markets. Joining us now, Senator Blanche Lincoln from Arkansas. Senator, thanks for being here. We wanted to talk a little further about derivatives because you have a bill up on Capitol Hill that you think will go a long way towards stopping the sort of thing that caused this economic meltdown. And it's sort of open and transparent and put all this $600 trillion worth of derivatives market. Is it really possible to control that kind of cash that flows that quickly?
Well, I think it's real important for people to know that with the $600 trillion marketplace where these derivatives have been, these over-the-counter market products, that we don't know about them except for the fact that we looked behind us. And so the whole objective here is to create transparency. Our bill does that, and I think it's probably, I believe it is, the strongest in terms of reform of anything that anybody has produced. And what we do is require 100% transparency, real-time reporting to both regulators and to the public. We also mandate that there is exchange trade, they have to be exchange traded as well as they have to be cleared. And looking at all of these things, if banks want to be banks, they can be banks. But if they are going to deal in swaps, then they've got to move those swaps off of the bank.
One of the reasons that Wall Street is not crazy about this idea is because they have sort of operated largely in the dark on these. They've been private deals. Is that when people bought them, they really didn't know what their market worth was. So banks could charge a lot because the buyers had nothing really to compare it to. How certain are you that you're going to be able to get enough votes for this? Because it's a pretty powerful lobby.
Well, it is a pretty powerful lobby, but I think most members understand, like I do, that we answer to the people at home. And the fact is you're exactly right. This information was privy only to the folks on Wall Street. There's no doubt that business and industries need to be able to mitigate their risk. They need to park their risk in places. But we are able to still do that under our bill for commercial users. But these people that have been doing it speculatively, those that have been at the mercy of the Wall Street folks who have all that information, you know, we will be able to shine the light of day on what they're doing with that transparency, with that real-time reporting, and therefore I think other people will be able to participate in that marketplace, but more importantly, people will know what's happening. They'll know what we are dealing with in terms of this market.
Let me turn you to politics because you are in a very rough race back home, a re-election race for you. One of the most endangered Democrats, I think, is one of the titles they give you when we read about your race. What is it that you think that has made you a target from the left of your party, the more liberal Democrat running against you in the primary? What have you done wrong as far as Democratic orthodoxy is concerned?
Well, I look for results. You know, I don't look at the politics of things. I don't look at the left or the right. And this bill is a good example. What I look at is getting results for Arkansans, getting results for the people of America. And I look for common ground to solve that problem because I do think common ground is the place to be. It's where you find most
solutions. It might cost you the election, though, might it not? I mean, it does seem that this is a pretty rough one for you, so you may have, being in the middle, has not proven to be a very safe place to be for a politician.
No, I have to say, you know, I've always had tough races. That's just by the nature, whether it was my age or my gender. They've always been tough elections. But I think, by and large, Arkansans and Americans see through that. They also see that when you're trying to get results, you're looking for common ground, you're trying to solve the problems. That's exactly what they want. People want to see, nowadays, I think, government moving forward, sometimes one step at a time, but more importantly, solving our problems and to quit the bickering that happens out there.
Last question here. By our count, you've gotten about $4,500 in campaign contributions from Goldman Sachs, which now has been charged, but found guilty of nothing, we should say, but has been charged with not really telling its investors everything the investors should have been told. You have gotten $4,500 from the Goldman Sachs PAC or from Goldman Sachs employees. You thought about giving that back?
No, I think the larger point here is that whatever that contribution was, and I have had multiple contributions from lots of different places, from agricultural entities, other business entities, $4 million from Arkansans. The point here is that contribution didn't make any difference because I've still produced one of the toughest reform bills that's been presented. The idea here is that certainly you listen to everyone, and that's exactly what I did in putting this bill together. But more importantly, that you're working hard to get something done for the American people, and in my case, the people of Arkansas. People want transparency and accountability in their government and in their financial system, and that's what we do in this bill.
Senator Blanche Lincoln of Arkansas, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Candy. Great to be